Hey doing everyone, welcome to an episode of Krypto Playboy. My name is Simul. Guys, we begin, chuck like the video, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content coming out. Don't forget hop in the Discord and there you got tips, pre-sales and the best community in the whole of crypto. Alright guys, let's get into today's episode. Alright, so this is a project I posted in the past. It was called SuperVet. Now, this thing caught my attention because I haven't never heard of read to earn before. It was one of the first ones I came across and said, oh, this could be something interesting. Like, we know GameFly had massive explosion, a lot of those play to earns. This also takes on the play to earn concept, but it's the first to have a read to earn concept. We know how big the comic book industry is. It's massive. It's always been big. And this could be its adoption into crypto. So when I saw this, I thought, why not find out more? And today, we have the co-founder, Fazine, on board. Let's hope this connection works. Someone's been playing up, but here we go. Hey, you there? How you going?
Hey Sam, how are you?
Great, man. Good to have you on here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
Man, I just want to. It's very interesting, this concept we heard about. So I had some people asking me some questions, and I wanted to get them to you straight away. So let me know. Tell us a bit about the project. Like, how'd you come up with the idea for this?
Sure. So before starting with the details on the project, so let me ask you a very simple question. So you have heard about the Superman, Spider-Man, and a lot of other superheroes, right?
Yeah, for years.
They're always there to save the planet whenever there's some external threat or some villains from outside or inside. But if I ask you, does any superhero comes to your mind? If I ask you to save the animals or any superhero that is very specific related to the animals?
Probably big Superman. Remember he saved the cat once.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what we thought, and now you have one SuperVets. Yeah. So I'll explain the project step by step with all the details. So SuperVet is not just any other simple project. It's not just any other game. It's not just any other metaverse. It's a whole ecosystem that we're trying to build here. So SuperVet is about creating a cinematic universe that is there to save the animals. The sole purpose of creating the project was to create an awareness. So the whole idea originated when the Australian wildfire happened back in 2019, and it was a very tragic accident. Almost 3 billion animals lost their lives, and that got us into thinking that, okay, what can we do to take care of that, to avoid some same incident from happening in future, and what we can do in digital realm to keep stuff like this from happening. And that's where the idea of SuperVet came into being, and we thought about what we can do about it. So the very first idea that came to our mind was creating a game, but then we saw that there are thousands and thousands of games already on internet and blockchain, and everyone is doing like play to earn and putting up another game. So then we brainstormed a lot, and then we decided that instead of just creating another game, let's do something that no one has done before on the blockchain. So we landed on the idea of creating a whole cinematic universe for the animals, and that cinematic universe is SV universe, that is SuperVet. So the idea here is that we have introduced some characters, and every character has a very detailed backstory of their own. And the reason for having that is, as you're very familiar with all the cinematic universes, every character has their backstory, and with that backstory comes their strengths and their weaknesses. And the same idea we're implementing here as well. So inside that ecosystem, we have so many parts in it. So one part over here is read to earn. That is something a little new in the crypto space. Then we have Comicfly marketplace, which is, I believe, something I believe we are introducing, if I'm not wrong. And we are very positive about that thing. Then, like any other game, we have play to earn model as well. And then we have our own metaverse. We call it Superverse. And then there are so many features inside each and every module of our cinematic universe. So the sole reason, as I mentioned before, was to create an awareness for the animals. And to do so, we are introducing SuperVet. And inside SuperVet, we are not just creating everything on the digital side. We are already in contact with a lot of charity organizations from Australia, US, and Europe, and in Pakistan as well. And what we are doing is that we have pledged to a lot of charity organizations already that we'll be putting on our website as well. We are right now in process of screening some other charity organizations, and we're signing MOUs with them. And a dedicated portion of all the earnings that we'll be making from this project will be going to the actual charity organizations, where they are actually doing a lot of good stuff for the animals on ground. So it's not just about the pets; it's about all the animals, the stray dog, the wild animals, and all of that.
It's really a nice thing what you guys are doing out there. I remember we had the fires back here in Oz because I'm from Australia, and it was a bad time. A lot of people lost homes, countless animals were dying, and that like you saw all the ads around TV on the news. It was really really bad. So like, you
Yeah.
guys, that's a nice project. Like that's something like this Comicfly. First I've ever heard of is Read to Earn. I think you guys are the first in the space doing it, but then having a nice background story to it. It's a nice thing you guys are doing, I believe. Like, can you explain a bit more what is Read to Earn? Because I've not read about this anywhere else, but that's what caught my eye about your project.
Yeah. So as I come from a background where I used to play a lot of games, I used to follow a lot of comics, I used to follow the superheroes, and I remember vividly like buying bulks and bulks of comics. Like I used to have like bundles of comics when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And I remember all of my friends going very crazy and posting off about the comics they used to have, they used to own, and then we used to share and out each other the comics that we had. And that's where the idea of Comicfly came into being. So what we are doing is we are creating a marketplace and we are creating a volumes of comics. So as I mentioned earlier, that every character has a backstory, which gives us a lot and lot of content for creating the comics for the characters, explaining their backstories, where they came from, what got them into the superverse, and what they're going to do next, and explaining the story as well. So what we are doing now is we are creating all the comics. We have created the marketplace already, and all of our comics will be there on our marketplace. So and that's where the idea of read to earn exists. So not everyone likes to play, but there are people who likes to read as well. So what we are doing here is we are asking people to buy our comics, and everyone who buys our comics or lend it to the other people, they read it. Then we'll be organizing a lot of quizzes, a lot of competitions with them. And those who answer the quizzes, the competitions, they will be rewarded against their knowledge base in our superverse. And the knowledge base will either be gathered by either playing the games or by going through comics and reading it. So that's where the idea of read to earn originated. Maybe not originally, maybe some other projects are doing as well, but not to my knowledge. And the Comicfly, I believe, is something that's brand new. That's something that maybe we are introducing in the Web3 space.
Yeah, it's the first time I heard of it. So I was like, And my next question was like, is there anything else out there like this in the market? From what I could find, no, but maybe you guys know if there's anything else out there.
Frankly speaking, not to my knowledge, but you never know. There may be some other projects out there in the similar fashion. But during our homework, we were not able to find any solid project pitching out, especially Comify and Read to Earn things. The Play to Earn is there. There are thousands and thousands of projects, but not a single project is actually creating a whole ecosystem. So there are metaverses, there are games, there are a lot of similar stuff. But no one is actually going for creating a cinematic universe. No one is actually going for creating a sentimental value based on the whole ecosystem.
Another thing I read with you guys was you're integrating this with Oculus. So this can be like a VR type of game as well for people, or?
Yes. So when building the game and while working on our superverse, we were constantly checking the markets. We were constantly seeing what other people are doing, and we saw a lot of gap and opportunity in this space from VR perspective. So all the games that we used to see were just simple desktop-based playing games where you just play the game on 2D. So we thought that we should be doing something different because technology is advancing and we should take advantage of that. So that's why we have built our game as well as our superverse in VR. So anyone who has the access to VR can actually enjoy a 360 experience of our game as well as our metaverse.
You guys are thinking of a bit there. And there's also something very special we read that you guys are building your own blockchain just for the game for SuperVet.
Yeah, so we have developed our own blockchain. We call it Super Crypto Chain, and the reason for doing that is most of the blockchain-based games, they are either host centralized servers, and only the transactions are normally recorded on the blockchain. But we want our game to be a completely pure blockchain-based game, and this is one of the reasons that we have our own blockchain, and there are so many other advantages to having your own blockchain as well. So if you want, I can explain all the details of why we are having our own blockchain.
Yeah, I was going to ask that the next question, like maybe what are the benefits of your own individual blockchain? So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So you must have played a lot of games, and we all do play games. So in every single game you play, you get some experience points, right? I used to gather a lot of experience points, and then used to buy a lot of stuff from those experience points. So one of the main advantages of having our own blockchain is that whenever someone plays our blockchain, they will be rewarded in SCRY tokens instead of experience points, and they can actually use those SCRY tokens to buy our NFTs, to buy the comics, or they can actually exchange those SCRY tokens for the SVEC tokens that is on Binance Smart Chain. Another reason for having our own blockchain is that we want the project to be a completely decentralized solution, not just some central servers hosted by us, because we later on plan to actually taking our blockchain public, where people can actually do the mining as well. So yeah, and not just that, the comic marketplace that we are building will be hosted on our own blockchain.
You guys are thinking of everything, yeah. Because from what I'm saying, like Comicfly in crypto, I've not heard of this often. You guys could be like the trendsetters for this, so you know you might be bringing out the next one, or maybe Marvel will be
Yeah.
knocking on the door saying, "Hey, give us a hand with this."
Yeah, we hope so. As I mentioned, that we are after building an ecosystem. So my personal goal is that maybe 2 to 3 years from now, the kids growing up should call themselves Dr. X and Dr. Bruce and Dr. Ivy from our superverse, rather than just Superman and Spider-Man and Iron Man. I have no hard feelings for them. I love Spider-Man. I love Superman. All of them. But I believe that we should think broad. We should think about all the living beings on the planet, and that's why we came up with this idea. And I believe Comicfy is going to be a trendsetter, and hopefully, we want a lot of other projects to actually follow the trend, take it upwards. And we have also mentioned it on our Twitter Spaces as well, that we're always there to help other projects in this regard as well. So if someone wants to let's say host their comics on our blockchain, they are more than welcome to do so, because we believe it's going to be a trend in future, because every year there is something new in the blockchain space, and we believe that next year Comify is going to be the one of them.
I like your thinking. It's like first I've heard of it from this, so like really caught my attention to like you guys could be onto something big here. Because you know, comics. When I was a kid, people loved comics. Generation before me, like people still like the same thing as they get older. But now we have the internet and
Yeah.
crypto.
It's
Maybe
just on the digital side now. Yeah.
exactly. So, do you guys already have an audience or a community that you're already looking at targeting, or already have on board?
Yeah, so we are already very active on Telegram. We are running a lot of competitions, a lot of challenges for our audience,
Mhm.
and audience are actively participating. So if I share the numbers with you, on Telegram, we have almost, I believe, 12K audience right now at this moment. On Discord, it's almost 2K, and on Instagram, I believe 17K, and Twitter, I believe we are close to 20K.
No, and these are all naturally grown ones as well, from what I can see.
Yes, most of them, because as I mentioned, that the new trends that we are bringing in, the type of content that we are posting, and we are taking the advice, we are taking the feedback from our community as well,
Mhm.
because we believe in community-based projects. We believe that what we are doing should be something the community is ready to accept. So most of the audience that we have on board are organic audience that we have built over time by engaging and interacting with our community.
No, I like what you guys are doing. And do you have an idea of when the alpha version will be ready of the game? Because there's some testing that
So
I can see.
yeah, so the alpha variant is ready. It will be rolled out in a week or so max. So we have 4 missions already ready to roll out on desktop variant, and 2 missions on VR variant. So, and they will be available on our website pretty soon. So we have done all the homework. We have built the backend infrastructure completely. We have done all the maps, the missions, the 3D models. All the backend working is done. And as I mentioned, the 4 missions on desktop is ready, and it will be rolled out. We're just doing some very fine tweaking, and after that we'll roll them out on the website, and people who are visiting our website can actually play those initial missions for free on VR as well as on their desktops.
Hmm. Nice, man. So you guys are traveling well with your timeline, or things going smoothly?
uh, they are pretty smooth. We are traveling along with the roadmap that we have set so far, and hopefully we'll keep on doing so. If you go to our website, we have a quite detailed roadmap over there, and we are sticking to it. We have made it public from the very start, and that is going to be a motivational factor, or it will keep us pushing to sticking to what we have decided.
That's nice. And I noticed that Communitators, the big launchpad, they've picked your guys up as well now. So that's nice to see because I've seen them pick up some massive GameFi projects. These guys be the trendsetters now. You guys, Comicfly, they bring you on board, and you can see people following the trend. It's really nice. Congratulations for that one. I hope there's some other big
Thanks.
ones get onto you.
Yeah, so Communitators is on board as well. We are also in talks with a lot of other launchpads as well. And as you know that there are some other investors who have already invested with us in the seed and some of a private round as well. So yeah, we look forward to having other launchpads as well, and we hope that those launchpads will help us set the trends for this Comify.
And when's TGE you guys looking at, like roughly?
Yeah, so the TG was actually planned in end of second quarter of this year, but as you know that market is not very stable at this moment. So right now what we are doing is that we are taking input from all the investors that have invested with us so far, and we are taking consent from all of them. We are keeping them in loop, and we'll be deciding on the new date of the TGE based on a cumulative decision of all of our investors and advisors.
Oh, nice, man. So just moving with the times there, because there has been a lot of controversy in crypto lately. Luna, the crash of everything, and people are now uncertain about it. So a bit of delay doesn't hurt anyone. And I'm really impressed to see what happens with you guys because, as I said, first of its kind, Comicfly, read to earn. Like I'm really curious to see how this goes and where it goes from here. Like this could be the next big trend. I do hope that for you guys because they're very exciting for you. And then, it just grows bigger and bigger. So congratulations to you guys and keep pushing along with it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as I mentioned, that our spirits and hopes are high for this project as well, because the core reason behind it is creating awareness for the animals and doing so in the digital world. And by doing so, we hope on setting some new trends. And with people like you, for example, you are interviewing us, giving us some digital presence, some audience, and I believe that will help us grow as well. So really thankful to you for taking out the time and having us on board and making our voice heard to the right audience.
No, I like that. I just said when I read it, it was just like, whoa, this is interesting. It's different. Like something different just catches my eye. It's not like GameFi is the same project 100 times. This was like,
yeah,
give it a go. All right, well, thanks for coming on the show, man. We'll be sure to probably get you back on later in the future, closer to it, and see how it's traveling and see if Marvel's been talking to you by then.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on board, and we look forward to having another great session once we do the TG.
Yeah, too easy, man. Enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Well, there you guys have it. Very interesting. I'm telling you, keep an eye on this because this could be something that just goes huge. Like you never know in crypto. I think people first come across them, like, oh, is it just another game? But this read to earn thing is like really getting me going. And you know how big comics are? The industry is huge. It's like multi-million dollar industry. Imagine that moving into crypto. Like all the kids these days, kids don't actually read books anymore or online. Bring them to the comic scene. Bring them to third world countries where people out there enjoying and reading. Then you can read to earn. See this type of the explosion could potentially happen. So I love seeing this for these guys. Hopefully it can happen for them. Hopefully bigger and better things. And plus the animal charity thing, that's a nice feature at the end of it. So, it's nice to give back. And the team seems very passionate about it. Love it. So guys, hop on their Twitter. I'll put the details down below. Follow their social media. Always keep up to date with those things. And any updates, I'll be sure to let you guys know. So don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content coming out.